All right. Good morning, Gridiron Gooners. It's your commissioner here. I saw a TikTok about a guy who does a fantasy football podcast for his league every week after the weekends, and that sounded like a fun idea. So I decided that I was going to partake in such activities. Oh, I forgot to turn this on. Um, yeah, I don't know. I thought it'd be fun. I'm trying to make this league as much fun for all of us as I can. I mean, I enjoy fantasy football, and I hope you guys are enjoying the season two. You know, I think it's fun to be a little extra with it than just picking your lineup every week. So this seemed like a fun idea. I don't know. I'm just gonna do it in one take. I'm not taking this too seriously, obviously, because there's 9 people in here besides me that are gonna listen to it, if even everybody listens to it. So like, let's just have some fun with it. You know what I mean? Got my spooky Broncos towel. Huh? Huh? 'Tis the season. I'm also gonna use this chance to just talk about the Broncos because I can do what I want. It's my video. Hold on, my dog wants out. My video slash podcast, whatever you want to call it. So the first half of this video is gonna be me probably talking about the Broncos, and then maybe just like the NFL in general. And then the second half we'll get into fantasy for us. So if that's all you're here for, if you're just here for the fantasy, you can skip forward if you'd like. I understand. I'm not gonna give you a timestamp or anything because I'm gonna make you earn it. All right. So let's just jump into the Broncos first. I mean, they just had a crazy game. That fourth quarter comeback was absolutely nuts. They were giving me a heart attack the whole first 3 quarters of the game. Let's start with the lows on the Broncos end, right? First off, let's just start with the defense. Everyone knows the Broncos for their defense right now. The anonymous Orange Crush. They did not have a great game at all, by any means. They had so many defensive penalties. We're not going to count that last one on Riley Moss, that pass interference, because that was bullshit, and we all know it. At first, I was mad at him because Riley Moss has low-key been getting cooked this season, and he's not my favorite player on our defense. Him and Alex Singleton, I think, are our weak spots. Luckily, Drake Greenlaw is about to be back. Technically, he came back, but now he already got suspended, which is also bullshit, and I think he's appealing it. For those that missed it, after the game, a ref pushed Stranad, I think is how you say his last name, and Drake Greenlaw chased him down and was like, yelling at him. So now Drake Greenlaw got suspended for a game already, even though that was his first game back. But he's appealing it. We'll see. Yeah, we're not going to count that Riley Moss pass interference penalty because he played it pretty perfectly. I can't even lie. I don't like him, but I'll give him credit. He played it perfect. Got my coffee. It's in a Red Lobster glass. Don't even know where that came from, but here I am drinking out of it. I also have a spooky Halloween bear right there. Yeah, the Broncos defense did not play great. I mean, they gave up 30 points to the Giants. Not that the Giants are like a bad team, but they definitely aren't like a great offense. You know what I mean? Like they have a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back. Their wide receiver 1 is out for the season. I mean, it just feels like a team we shouldn't have given up 30 points to. I literally, not gonna lie, it's Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. I just rolled out of bed, so sorry. I'm sorry for the way I look. They just didn't play great. They had so many defensive penalties, especially in that first half. I think that's really what was setting us back. Every time we'd like have a good stop or something, a penalty would negate it all, and they'd have a fresh set of downs. So the defense has been mostly up this season, but they have these weeks where they go up and down. I mean, they held the Eagles to like, I don't know, less than 20 points, I think. I can't remember the score of that game. And then they held the Jets to like 10 points or whatever. But then this week they gave up 30 to the Giants. So I think I'm not too worried about our defense, but I do think penalties have been an issue for us this season. And so we need to really crack down on that. I mean, we have like one of, if not the best defenses in the league. I think that is our biggest weakness. And then Riley Moss and Alex Singleton are our holes. And I think that's very obvious, and that was obvious on Sunday. The middle of the field got burned by their tight end like 2 times, and that's exactly where Alex Singleton covers. He did make a big play there at the end. He just absolutely demolished Cam Scatterbo and got to Jackson Dart, and that's what forced Jackson Dart to throw that pick. So I will give Alex Singleton credit there, and then same with Riley Moss again. He played that deep ball perfect. It was a bullshit call. There was a ton of bad calls that game. I have it up here. They gave the Giants 7 first down via penalties, which I'm not saying all those weren't deserved. So I'm sure some of those were, but 7 first down penalties. And then that pass interference call, they had called Pat Surtain offsides one time when he wasn't. He timed the snap literally perfect, but they called him offsides for it. Jermaine Illuminors, he's and I think a no lineman for the Giants. There was like multiple false start calls on him missed. And then, like I said, at the end, they shoved Justin Stranad and suspended Dre Greenlaw for a game. If you want to find that clip, you can look it up pretty easy. It was just the Broncos celebrating. Justin Stranad was jumping. He was trying to go around the ref, but the ref kind of gave him a push, and that pissed Dre Greenlaw off. So yeah, I do think the refs were kind of against us in this game. It felt like just a tinge, but I do also think our defense needs to be better penalty wise. I mean, we have way too good of a defense to be giving up free points or free first downs and all this stuff. So especially next week, we're facing one of the best offenses in the league, so we really got to tighten up. Yeah, that's the defensive side of the ball game. I'm not too worried about us there. What I am worried about us is our offense, man. I mean, let me pull up the last scores of the game. Broncos' last games. We have been struggling offensively. I mean, we scored 13 points in the last 7 quarters. We put up 21 on the Eagles, which is pretty good, but we only put up 13 on the Jets, and we had 0 through the first 3 quarters. So between the Jets game and the first 3 quarters of this game, we had 13 points. 13 points in 7 quarters. I don't know what. I think there's a lot of issues here. I don't think it's all just one person, one thing. Which is I have this guy's post pulled up here. If you want to pause and read it, he can. He basically just talks about why the offense feels so stagnant. He says it's not a Bo thing. I fully agree. It's just this offense. They continue to call repetitive plays. Sean Payton loves to call bubble screens for some reason over and over again. Even though they continuously don't work, he refuses to let anyone get in a rhythm, whether it be our running game. JK ran for I think it was 13 attempts for 81 yards. He was averaging 5 yards a carry, but he just completely abandoned the running game at one point. Granted, it was towards the end where we needed to throw, but it just feels like he doesn't let anyone get in a rhythm. JK was running 5 yards a carry, and then he'd take JK out and put Harvey in. And I know he's trying to run a 2-man backfield, but it just feels like anytime someone starts to get in a rhythm, we take him out, or I don't know. And then through the first 3 quarters, all we were doing is running checkdowns and bubble screens. How is our quarterback meant to get in any sort of rhythm? You know what I mean? If Bo's throwing, look at this. I have his pass chart here. Look at this, dude. This is 30 passes within 10 yards. He threw the ball 50 times, and I think this was 12 maybe, or 14 above 10 yards. How is Bo meant to get in any rhythm? And also look at this giant gap right here in the middle. Where are the balls over the middle? We're either running checkdowns. I think I counted there's 12 behind the line of scrimmage. We're literally working behind the sticks half the time because these are completions, but then they're getting tackled at the line of scrimmage. So now it's 2nd and 11, 3rd and 13. You know what I mean? Bo had 27 completions, 50 attempts, but he should not. Really, this shouldn't be 50 attempts. Because these checkdowns, these behind the line of scrimmage passes could have just been run plays. Like I said, JK was running 5 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. It's just Sean Payton refuses to let Bo just be a quarterback. It's he has the training wheels on him. I don't know if he's trying to protect Bo and make his completion percentage look good, or I don't know, or if he just doesn't have faith in him. But when you look at these above 10 yards, he completed half of them. And I'm guarantee you all of these were those last drives in the 4th quarter, all these ones over 10 yards. You sit here and you watch this offense and how is Bo meant to get in any rhythm when he's throwing within 10 yards almost every play? I mean, and then the middle of the field is just wide open. Where are the slant routes? Where are the, where the running back is running a route in the middle of the field? Where is this middle? Why are we not utilizing the middle of the field? it makes defenses like so. It's so easy for defenses to play us because they can just load within the 10-yard, like the 10-yard range. You know what I mean? I'm no expert here, by the way, so if I sound like an idiot, deal with it. But like, look at how many times he's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. How is Bo meant to get in any rhythm? I mean, we're working from behind the sticks half the time. Like, our offense has just felt so stagnant until that fourth quarter yesterday. And that's kind of what he says. He says the repetitive use of play calls, specifically certain screens, that's what I was saying, bubble screens, that don't work. The lack of commitment to a consistent ground game that does work, the JK. The avoidance of using Bo's legs, bingo. He's running checkdowns. He's throwing the ball within a few seconds. So the defense isn't like having to worry about Bo even because he's not getting to scramble. The odd personnel rotations that take guys out or don't allow them to get into rhythm. And then the insistence on overusing Troy Franklin, who has issues catching the football. That's another thing, man. We had so many drops yesterday by receivers. Specifically, Troy Franklin had a couple. And like, it feels like we're really trying to push Troy Franklin as our wide receiver 2, when Marvin Mims is clearly the guy. I mean, Marvin Mims is so explosive, athletic. He had an amazing like back shoulder jump ball catch in the fourth quarter that really, like, I think that was a huge play for us. I think without that catch, our chances of winning sink to the floor. You know, same with the over the middle pass. I actually think Bo may have been aiming for Sutton on that one, on that last drive, but Mims caught it. I think we really need to be pushing more plays for Sutton if he's going to be our wide receiver 1. Let him work down the field. Let Bo throw the ball. Solidify Marvin Mims as our wide receiver 2. I think he's proven himself time and time again. I don't think Troy Franklin's bad, but he's consistently dropped the ball, and it feels like we're like weirdly trying to push him. And I don't know, man. I'm really confused on Sean Payton's play calling, man. It feels like we just consistently work ourselves into a hole. Like, our defense has carried us the last 2 weeks 100%. Not the Giants game, but the previous 2 weeks. I mean, they only let the Jets score 10 points, but like the fact that we beat the Jets 13-11, they're 0-7 and we beat them by 2 points and we could only put up 13 points against them. I think our biggest issue right now is our offense. I think Sean Payton really just needs to utilize the run game, quit calling so many damn screens all the time. Just take the training wheels off Bo in this offense and just let him be a quarterback and let him throw the ball. I mean, that fourth quarter, look at this. Bo's stats this season when we're trailing. 1,044 yards, 76.3% completion rating, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 101.6 passer rating. I think, I'm not going to put this all on Peyton. I do think Bo plays a little conservative early on in the games. But like, when push comes to shove and when it's go time, Bo shows up. I mean, it's insane the stats he's putting up when we're down. It happened in the Eagles game, it happened that last drive of the Jets game, and it happened that whole fourth quarter yesterday. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth quarter of that Giants game. He's the first quarterback to ever do that, by the way. I mean, insane. It just makes you wonder why this offense can't do that for 4 straight quarters. You know what I mean? It feels like we are a completely different team through the first 3 quarters and the fourth quarter. I mean, I think that the fourth quarter, I think we're a championship team. The first 3 quarters, I don't even think we're a playoff team. It's just so night and day with us right now. It just doesn't feel sustainable this way. Like, I really don't think we deserve to win that game. I mean, granted, we played fantastic that fourth quarter, but I mean, the first 3 quarters, we sucked. Like, we looked terrible, offense and defense, which, again, defense not worried about. I think that was a bad game by them. I don't think that's usually them. But like, offense, this has been a consistent issue, and this hasn't been not just this season. Like, I saw something, this has been going on since Sean Payton got hired, even in the Russell Wilson days, where for 3 quarters we just looked stagnant and looked terrible, and then we're playing from behind consistently. I just think I think this is a great team, but I think until Sean Payton gets the play calling figured out, or until we hire an offensive coordinator who can consistently call a better game for us. I know we're 5-2 right now, and really we're 2 field goals away from being undefeated. but it just doesn't feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic, or maybe I'm just being a concerned fan. But it just doesn't feel like we're a solid 5-2 team. You know what I mean? I don't know. And again, we're 2 field goals away from 7-0, but it just doesn't feel that way. Just because we're always playing from behind. Actually, I don't know. This team confuses me, man. I don't know, because even those 2 games that we lost, we were ahead the whole fourth quarter until those field goals. I just don't know. We're just so up and down, this offense. I mean, the defense too has been up and down. I think if we can just hit a baseline where we're playing consistent, this will be a great team, man. I just think these overuse of the screen passes is really pissing me off. I think it's like keeping us in a box. Our first 7 drives on Sunday were punt, 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 turnover on downs, punt, punt. It's frustrating, man. I think we need to let Bo be a quarterback, let him make mistakes, let him grow. Running nothing but checkdowns and screen plays all game, it clearly isn't going to work. And then same with he's had a problem with missing deep balls this season, and I could believe that would be just a lack of, I don't know, not a lack of practice, but like if he's running checkdowns and screens all game, how is he going to have his distance dialed down the field? You know what I mean? How do you expect a guy to be throwing within 10 yards for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden you want to rip the top off on 4th? Of course he's going to overthrow it. Of course he's going to underthrow it. He hasn't thrown a pass over 10 yards since warm-ups, you know? I mean, it's just... Bo has said before that he likes a rhythm offense, and we are just doing the complete opposite. And it's confusing. It feels like this play calling, Sean Payton is holding our offense back, and I don't understand. Our stats when we run a 2-minute or a 4-minute offense go through the roof. I'm not saying we need to run at that pace the whole time, but like adjust the play calling as if you would for a 2 to 4 minute offense, you know? I just don't know where the angle routes are, where are the choice routes, where are the routes up through the middle of the field. I think Bo is a really good quarterback. I don't think he's great just yet. Actually, I don't even know, dude. In the 4th, he looked phenomenal. But until he can do it consistently, I'm not going to say he's like great just yet. I think he will be great. But it's just like, there's so many things I think Sean Payton needs to change in his play calling. And I think until he does, I'm not completely sold on us being a championship team yet. I don't think we can continue to play these tight games that we're putting ourselves in these holes. Like, I think there's those 2 games that we lost in field goals, I think were very winnable. I think play calling has been an issue all season, and until I think that gets figured out, I think we might continue to struggle. With that being said, also, real quick, I'm just mentioning this. We had the opportunity to draft Bucky Irving. We had the opportunity to draft Emeka Egbuka, and we had the opportunity to draft Tez Johnson, who, if you don't know, Bucky Irving played with Bo in Oregon. Tez Johnson is Bo's adopted brother and played with him at Oregon. And Emeka Egbuka, just a great receiver. But instead, we used our first-round pick to draft Jahdae Barron, who is a cornerback who we don't utilize whatsoever. He's on the field for maybe, 10, 15% of snaps. Riley Moss is clearly our cornerback too that we're utilizing, and it feels like that maybe should be something that changes. I don't know. I'm really confused by our draft choices. We've had a great defense already. We signed Dre Greenlaw in the offseason, so we even made an upgrade there. And then yet we still used our first-round draft pick to draft a cornerback that we aren't even using instead of an offensive weapon for Bo. Make it make sense, please, somebody. But that is what it is. That's just me being a complainer. And so next week, that matchup is the Cowboys-Broncos game. Nate, looking at you, brother. I think this game is going to be like the perfect test for the Broncos. It's like one of the best, if not the best offense in the league, and the Cowboys going up against, I don't know exactly so I'm gonna just say a top 5 offense versus top 5 defense. I think this is a big test for the defense if they can keep the penalties under control. I think this is specifically a big test for Riley Moss because he's going to be having to cover George Pickens. I think PS2 is going to do what PS2 does against CD. I think CD will probably have some catches. He's too good of a receiver. But I think PS2 is the best cornerback in the league. And I think, you know, we'll see how that shapes out. I think CD will still have a decent game. But also, if PS2 put the clamps on him, I would not be surprised. But George Pickens also might have a career day against Riley Moss. I think this is going to be like the perfect test of that. To see where Riley Moss really lines up against a good receiver. Because keep in mind, Riley Moss is typically guarding the second best receiver for the most part. And I mean, although he's played really well, he's also given up big plays. So we'll see how George Pickens lines up. And then on the opposite side, this is one of the worst defenses in the league in the Cowboys. And so I think this is a huge, huge game for our offense and for Sean Payton. I mean, you think about it, if we can't put up good numbers against one of the worst defenses in the league, someone's got to take accountability. And I think it's either got to be Sean Payton, it could be Bo, depending on how he plays. I just think this is a big test. I think if the fourth quarter Broncos show up that game, I think that's a very winnable game. But if the first three quarter Broncos show up, it's a very losable game. Because like I said, we were down like it was 19-0, I think, or something, entering the fourth quarter on Sunday against the Giants, and we we managed to make a comeback. But I don't think that's the Giants offense that we went down against. If we don't show up against the Cowboys, we're going to be down 40-0 entering the fourth quarter if we're not on our game. You know what I mean? So I think this game is the perfect test. Like I said, I think it's a very winnable game for us, but I also think it's a very losable game for us. I actually love that this test is coming right now in the season because, I don't know, I feel like I'm worried that because we won that game Sunday, it was almost like a bailout for Sean Payton in those first three quarters and for the defense. And so I think our defense needs to show up. I mean, like I said, that's one of the best offenses in the league. I think this is a good chance for the defense to prove that they are great. And then on the other side of the ball, I think, I don't even want to say this is a good chance to prove that our offense is great, but that our offense isn't terrible. It's just hard to see, like, when you look at all of our games this season, that 33 was our highest scoring game of the season, and that came in one quarter. So, like, the potential is there. But I think if we leave that game Sunday and we don't put up a good amount of points, or if we end up losing like a low scoring game, I think it's very clearly an offensive issue, and I think it could be a play calling issue. That's my opinion, is I think it's a play calling issue, but you know, who knows? We'll see how the game script goes Sunday. Ultimately, I think this is the perfect test for us. Let Bo be a quarterback, Sean. Quit calling check downs and screens all games, man. Anyways, that's my rant about the Broncos. Let's look up the NFL power rankings real quick before we move into fantasy. Just to see what they have. Let's see. So let's look at ESPN has the Lions number 1. Not mad at that at all. Colts number 2. Eagles 3. Tampa 4. Okay. Tampa 4, the Rams 5, Bills 6, Chiefs 7. Not loving that. Not loving the Chiefs at 7. I mean, they're 4-3. I know that they have been playing great lately, but Seahawks, 49ers, Broncos. Okay. This is better than the one I saw yesterday. The one I saw yesterday didn't even have the Lions in the top 10, so this is, yeah, the Cowboys 16, the Broncos 11. Okay. The only thing I'd probably change is move Kansas City down. Granted, I am a Kansas City hater, so maybe that's why. But I don't know. 49ers being above us? Granted, they have been 5-2 without their starting quarterback, so I guess they are a decent team. Yeah, I don't know. I think this Sunday, like I said, is going to be a huge test for us. I'm not mad at these rankings. My only question marks are Kansas City and Green Bay. Yeah, I don't know. Also, the Eagles at 3 on a 2-game losing streak. Oh, wait, no. I'm just kidding. They just beat the Vikings. I don't know. I will say the Lions and the Colts do look like the 2 best teams right now, which is crazy to think. But the Chiefs are looking good again, which is annoying now that they have their wide receiver core back. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think if we can consistently play 4 quarters, then we'll be a top 10 team. But until then, I'm not mad at that. Okay, let's get into fantasy. I just spent this whole first 25 minutes talking about the Broncos. I would like to take this time before I move on to apologize to Mr. Bosif Chapman Nicks. I fell for the hype this week. Every single fantasy TikToker, YouTuber was like, you have to play Caleb Williams. You have to. And all signs pointed towards him, right? I mean, he was the 13th ranked quarterback going into this week, fantasy points wise, and Bo was 14th. But Williams has played 1 less game. So he was still above Bo with even 1 less game on his record. So I fell for the hype. They were like, you have to stream Caleb. He's going up against the bottom 5 pass defense or whatever. And I did it. I went with Williams, and it kind of bit me in the ass. Caleb Williams only ended up dropping 5 points for me, and Mr. Bosif Chapman Nicks dropped 40. So, Bo, I'd like to take this time to apologize. I won't let it happen again. You are my team identity. Unsolicited Knicks picks. That's on me, man. I already have you in my lineup for next week, and it's Tuesday morning. I would like to take this time to apologize. We'll just go match by match. We'll start with me and Shelby. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to say I got lucky, because I did put in Caleb. He had 5. Quinn Johnson had 11. Brian Thomas 6. Krosky Merritt 4. I'm not gonna say I got lucky. Shout out Judkins though, 30. Shout out Bijan 21. Hey, my boys. But Shelby got very unlucky. Kyron did not have a great game. It was the London game. Jalen 30, Jalen Warren 19, not bad, but Nico 6, he got out. I think he ended up missing like 4th quarter. Kendrick Bourne had his worst game. Only 2 targets, 3 points. George Kittle, not a single catch, 0 points. Mike Evans got hurt, 0 points. Swift had a great game. The Pittsburgh defense, of course, the Pittsburgh defense probably wasn't a bad play, but Cincinnati got Joe Flacco, and now all of a sudden their offense looks great again. So I'm not going to say I got lucky, but Shelby got very unlucky. I squeaked by, sitting at 6-1. Not bad, but I do just think if I would have lost this game, I couldn't have been mad at anybody but myself, just for the fact that I benched Bo. I mean, that's on me. You know what I mean? That is on me. Let's go. Who's next? We got Tim and Hannah. Tim dropped 197. I mean, Hannah kind of got unlucky again with Jaden Daniels was out. He got hurt like in the 3rd. Devontae Smith dropped 40 though. That's huge. I mean, he's just such a boomer bust player, but man, Tim's team is looking scary. I'm not gonna lie. So he's sitting at 3-4. Hannah's sitting at 2-5. I mean, that's just unlucky with Chisada Buku, because he was more than likely going to be hurt, and then she has Puka, right? I don't think it shows me IR spots on the computer for some reason, but I believe she has Puka. So he was out this week, obviously. Nate put up 228, beat Shane. I mean, we're not going to talk about Shane. He's not updating his lineup, whatever. But 228 from Nate, that's nuts, man. Especially considering Chuba only had 7, Chuba, whatever, and McMillan only had 6. Like, that's like if he would have played Charbonnet instead of Chuba, bro, sitting at near 250. That's scary. Faith and Gibby. Faith pulled out the dub there. I mean, they chose to sit quarterbacks, so Gibby didn't break 100, but we're gonna ignore that because I mean they had a gentleman's agreement to not play quarterbacks. Really, neither team played great. If you look collectively, the Patriots defense snipe on Faith's side. What a genius she is. But I mean, Jamar Chase put up 38. Jonathan Taylor put up 34. It's going to be tough to win a game when you have 2 players just go crazy like that. And then, yeah, I mean, Gibby's team just kind of struggled. Saquon's in a rut right now. Etienne's in a rut right now. Odunze has not been great since coming back from the bye. Kelsey's been inconsistent. Pittman's been up and down, but he had a good game this week. Sutton had a decent game. Yeah, and then let's see, we have Nate's dad pulled out the win. Closer game than I realized. 146-121 over Devon. Again, nobody played great except for CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown. Javonte had a decent game, but when you have CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown combining for 60, it's a tough team to beat. And then George Pickens kind of takes a hit now with CeeDee Lamb back. Justin Jefferson didn't have a great game. I mean, that's your number one pick, only had 14. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. Let's go over some power rankings. This is going to be the fun part. This is what I think people are going to like. So this is the standings as of right now. I'm in first place, 6-1. We've got Nate 5-2, Faith 5-2, Nate's dad 5-2, Gibby 4-3, Tim 3-4, Shelby 3-4, Hannah 2-5, Devin and Shane 1-6. That's these power rankings. I decided to make a power rankings list of my own. So let's go over that, and then we'll kind of go over everybody's team. I think I can only do so much looking at the matchups this week, but we're going to go in depth and look at everybody's team. Do a power rankings. I'm going to make a little list here. Going to make a little top 10 list here. Why is this? Hold on, give me just a second. I'm sorry. I forgot to prepare this part. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out a way to like rank y'all in here. Give me just a second. Like, I just want to. I'm trying to make it. I'm gonna make a tier list of us real quick. I'm just trying to. I just need like a 1 through 10. Sorry, I didn't come prepared. Make a template. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. I can't figure out how to do this. I should have been more prepared. At number 10, I do have Shane. Just for this fact that Shane is not updating his lineup anymore, which is a real shame. That was like my biggest thing coming into the season. I just wanted people who were gonna update their lineups. If he has something real going on in real life, I understand, like, fantasy is not that important. I'm just confused because he did take the time to log on and drop neighbors, but then he didn't actually replace anybody in his team. So like right now he's just got an empty slot here. But like when you look at his team, Jared Goff, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, those are all great picks. Devontae Adams, great, just had a 26-win game. Ty Warren, great. Cameron Williams, inconsistent, not amazing. But like he's got people on. He's got Jordan Addison on his bench, who had 21. Travis Hunter on his bench, who had 24. Like if you slot those guys in, if at least one of them in the wide receiver slot, and then if you put one of them in your flex, that's a good team. But just for the sheer fact that he is not updating his lineup, he's at my number 10 spot. And number 9, I am sticking with Devin here. Not that I think he has a bad team. I just think like George Pickens takes a hit now that CD's back. DK Metcalf has been so up and down this season. I mean, he had an 8-point game this last week, so not great. 19-30, those are great games, but then 12-11-12, those are mid games. I don't know. I think Aaron Rodgers spreads the ball out. DK Metcalf is like their wide receiver one, but I mean, he only got 5 targets this last week, and this was an offensive shootout. So like that being your wide receiver 2 is like, I mean, hit or miss. That's tough. I mean, both of these guys are both going to be hit or miss. George Pickens was doing fantastic with CD out, but now that CD's back, I think his value takes a big hit. Justin Jefferson's a great pick, but he's been inconsistent this season. 14, 12, 12. That was all with JJ as the starting quarterback. 22 and 19. That was with Wentz. I think this game was with Wentz too, but to my knowledge, JJ's coming back. So I just have to worry about him. I mean, he's a fantastic receiver. He's obviously gonna still put up good numbers, but right now he's sitting at the number 18th ranked wide receiver. Granted, he had a bye. And I just worry about his value with JJ coming back. I just feel like I do think once Scary Terry comes back, that'll be a help. Granted, this Commanders offense has been struggling, but I do think Scary Terry's still a good receiver. I mean, he put up not great numbers the first 3 weeks when they were all there. I just think Jaden spreads the ball to Debo. He gives it to the running back, Zach Ertz. You know what I mean? Like this, it has a lot of offensive weapons, this offense. They've just kind of been struggling. But I do think once he comes back, and then obviously once Bucky comes back, I do think Devin will be sitting in a much better spot. But when you just look at his lineup as a whole, a couple boomer bust players, your number one pick has been inconsistent this year just because of the rookie quarterback. I think Bucky is your best player, and I mean, he's been hurt. So right now it's just hard not to put you at 9, brother. But I do think there's potential. Like I said, boom weeks, he's going to have a great team, but bust weeks, he's not going to have a great team. That's just, when you have a boomer bust lineup, that's just how it goes. I think he had like one crazy scoring week earlier this season. I wish I could use the iOS version. I feel like I like it better, but unfortunately, yeah, just not that great so far. You can see 928 points scored this season, but which isn't terrible, honestly, respectively, but it's also not great. Let's see. In mine, really, it's up here in the mid. That's when my power rankings change. I do have Hannah 8 still, which is crazy because really on paper, when you put Puka and Ibuka in this lineup, it's a really good team. I mean, Jaden Daniels, good quarterback. Genty, super inconsistent, but like he has the potential. I mean, he went on a good streak, 41, 15, 16. I mean, 41 is crazy. This Raiders offense just sucks, man. Geno Smith sucks. But, I mean, Genty has the potential to be a great running back. Kenneth Walker, unfortunately, I do think is a giant weak spot here. The Seattle offense just is going with a split back, so you never know if Ken Walker's going to have a great game or Zach Charbonnet is going to have a great game. So I do think that's kind of a hole right there. But then when you look at her receivers, man, I mean, Devontae Smith, boomer bust. He just had 40, but then he had 8, 21, but 4, 20, but 9 and 4. Like he's been so up and down, this Eagles offense. You just never know if they're going to focus on running the ball with Saquon like they usually do, if they're finally going to take the top off. And like, I mean, he had 11 targets, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Like that's a big game. But like next week he could put up 6 and nobody would be surprised. Lad McConkey, it's looking like he's probably going to go back to being the wide receiver one. He just had 15 targets this game. He didn't have a touchdown, but I mean, 15 targets, you'll take that any day of the week because like he's bound to get in the end zone. Or if not, he still put up 15 points without the touchdown. So, I mean, you had a touchdown there and he's breaking 20. It's looking like, again, it's the Chargers offense too. They spread the ball. They have Ladd, they have Quentin, they have Keenan. All 3 of those could be the one to have the week. You know what I mean? So you just never know. But Ladd is looking like he's back to being the wide receiver one with 15 targets. I mean, Tucker Kraft, it's a great tight end. Don't have anything to worry about there. Montgomery is going to be boomer bust, like all these other guys. Jalen Waddle is confusing because like Tyreek Hill is out for the season. So like Jalen Waddle is now their wide receiver one. He had 2 good weeks, 27-17. But then like, again, it's just it's these great players on these terrible offenses. You know what I mean? So Jalen Waddle's hard to rank. I think he's like a good start every week. But I mean, you put Ibuka and Puka in this lineup. Ooh, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm switching this actually. I think Shelby might have to fall to my 8 spot. Just because Jalen Hurts great, Kyron Williams been iffy, Jalen Warren's been okay, but like Nico's been iffy. George Kittle, I think he'll be good once he's back in the full form. But now with Mike Evans out for the season, I don't know how long Nico Collins will be out for. DeAndre Swift has been super iffy. Like he's been like consistently okay. These last 2 weeks he's had a really good game. So if he continues this pace, that's a huge help. But like before that he had 13, 12, 16. Derrick Henry has been like not great for some reason this season. He had 1 good game and the rest have been bad. I mean, I think once Lamar gets back and defenses are having to play around both Lamar and Derrick Henry, she'll be better. But unfortunately, I do think I have to put Shelby up my 8 slot here. I know she's got 1 more win over Hannah this season, but Hannah has put up more points this season. She's just been getting decimated by the other team. I mean, she's got 200 more points scored against her. than Shelby does. So I think when I look at these rosters, I actually think I have to bump Hannah above Shelby. So put Shelby at the 8 spot and Hannah at the 7. I mean, when you look at Genty, Ladd, Puka, Ibuka, I mean, those are really good receivers. Plus, you have the boomer bust in Montgomery. You have Jalen Waddle, who could end up being a good, consistent wide receiver 1 if the Dolphins just learn how to not suck. Like, Hannah's got a good team here. It's just been unlucky with the injuries and then, like, these boomer bust players. But ultimately, I do think when you compare Shelby's roster versus Hannah's roster, I would give the edge to Hannah. Like, Hannah's got a scary team when they all play well. I don't think she is a true number 8. It's just been, like, these injuries, and then, like, she's just been getting the unlucky matchups every week. And yeah, this is where things are a little different for me, because right now Tim is sitting at number 6. But we'll get into Tim here in a minute, because when you look at his team, it is not a number 6 team. He started off 0-3, but since then he's been 3-1. And I think his offense is tuned up. So far it's Shane 10, Devin 9, Shelby 8, Hannah 7. And then when I look at these teams, really next I want to put Nate's dad. He's sitting at number 4. He's 5-2, but like something about this team just feels not. I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel okay. Because Jordan Love, not a great fantasy quarterback. We'll be honest. Kyler Murray also not though. So his quarterback spot is lacking. He drafted Joe Burrow. He got hurt. Quarterback spot is lacking. Javonte Williams, great. I mean, he's consistently been great all year. He had one bad week last week, but nothing wrong with Javonte Williams. Great running back. JK now, he's been consistently okay, but these last 2 weeks, he's been bad. I mean, we've got 14, 15, 17, 11, 15. So, okay, you know, not bad, not great. Like pretty good. You'll take those points, you know what I mean? You'll take the 14s, 15s, 17s any day of the week. But like 4 last week, 9 this week, it's just hard to have JK as your second best running back and feel content, just because like this Broncos offense utilizes JK, they utilize Harvey. I mean, like I said, earlier, JK had a great day, but they just had to, because of the game script, they had to completely abandon the run game. CeeDee Lamb is going to be great now that he's back. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that Nate's dad is 5-2 and he didn't have CeeDee Lamb. I'm not going to lie. But when you look at his points scored, he's only scored 871 points this week. So he's like bottom 5 in scoring. But he's just been getting really lucky with his matchups. I'm not going to lie. He has the least amount of points scored against him. We're all sitting in the 800s, 900s, and 1000s. And he's had 781 points scored. He's bottom 5 in scoring, but he's the bottom, or he's had the best matchups against him. You know, so like that's why he's sitting at 5-2. I think when you look at this team, could easily be a 3-4 team. CD's good, Javonte's good, but like the rest of this team, like AJ Brown, he just had a fantastic game, but the rest of this season, he's only had one other good game this season. Like I said, it's the same with Devontae Smith. This Eagles offense is so inconsistent when it comes to throwing the ball. I think I just don't think he's consistently good enough. And then now when you look at his flex spots, you have A.O. Manor, which I know he's only in because Debo's hurt. But let's even just say Debo and Chase Brown. Debo has been good this season. 22, 17, those are good, but then he had 4, 20, 23. Like I think when Jaden Daniels is playing, when Debo's playing, he is a really good flex spot option. But now he's out. He's banged up. I don't know what he's hurt with. I think it said it was like his... Doesn't even say what he's hurt with right now. Oh, heel injury. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. I do think Debo's a good pick. I think he takes value away from Scary Terry or Devin. But Chase Brown has been consistently bad this season. I do think he could be on the come up now that their offense has Joe Flacco. Their offense looked much better. He had a 100-yard rushing day, which is like huge, especially on only 11 attempts. So I do think Chase Brown could be on the rise, but we just have to wait and see. I think as of right now, I have to put Nate's dad as just the rank 6 because of the inconsistency with JK, AJ Brown, Chase Brown, and then with Debo Samuel hurt. I know he's sitting at 5-2 and he's ranked 4th in our league according to Sleeper, but for me, he's ranked 6th. 5th, I do think belongs to Gibby. Mostly just because the inconsistency. When you look at Gibby's team on paper, it sounds really good. Josh Allen, great. Saquon, normally great. He's just been struggling. I think defenses have learned how to game plan around Barkley. So you can see he's had 4 good games this season. Four good games this season, but 3 bad games. So it's really hit or miss for Saquon. Even this game against Denver, you can see he only had 6 attempts for 30 yards. He just had a 40-yard reception touchdown that saved his day completely. But I mean, you take away that, he's like an under 10-point game too. ETN has been bad lately. I mean, just this Jaguars offense this is such a confusing team to me because they're like, what, 5-2 now, the Jags? But like, ETN hasn't been great. Brian Thomas hasn't been great. Travis Hunter hasn't been great until this last week. It's so weird where they're getting their points from, how they're winning these games. But as of late, ETN has been bad. Odunze has not looked great since the bye week. He started off the season hot, but then like these last 2 weeks, only 5 targets, only 6 targets. It's hard to put Odunze right now. Pittman has been up and down. 28, 19, 15, 14, 4, 20. I mean, he's been consistently good minus those 2 weeks. The Colts offense looks great, so that's great for Pittman. I mean, he's getting 9 targets and a touchdown, so that's huge. Kelsey, only 3 targets this last week. I mean, yeah, Kelsey's been inconsistent. 12, 10, 6, 9. Those are all like meh weeks. He had a 19-point week, which is great. 13 and 10. Okay. Vidal, kind of hard to say with him. He had a great week, but then this week, I think just the game script, they were having to throw the ball. I mean, he only had 9 attempts, but they were for 20 yards. So Vidal, we're just not sure. I know the Chargers offensive line is banged up. So we're not really sure how this running game is really going to look. But then once Hampton comes back, Vidal becomes irrelevant again. But then you have Sutton and Zay Flowers really as her flex spots. This is a good team on paper. Like if you just think of the names, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne, Rome Odunze, Michael Pittman, Cortland Sutton, Zay Flowers would be here probably, Travis Kelce. Like when you say these names out loud, you're like, wow, that's a good team. It's just they've been playing so inconsistent. I mean, even Josh Allen, I mean, he's been putting up good numbers. He had a 13-point week. You know, that's an anomaly for him. I mean, he's going to put up numbers. 18 last week against the Falcons. He's going to put up numbers. You're not really worried about Josh Allen. But Saquon has been weirdly iffy. Obviously, he's still a great running back, and like you never even question putting him in your lineup. But like when these defenses game plan around Saquon and are able to execute that, like it is concerning. Like he only had 8 points against the Giants, and he's about to play the Giants again. So, and then Green Bay has a good defense. That's who he'll play after their bye. Detroit, good defense. Detroit, iffy defense. But Dallas, he'll probably drop like 50 on. But then Chicago, like, I don't know. It's tough to say with Saquon right now. He's a great player, but it's just tough to say. But again, when you go to the names, Josh Allen, Saquon, Travis Etienne, Odunze, Pittman, it's just on paper, this is a great team, but they've just been all of her players have been so inconsistent. And it's tough to say even when Zay comes back, what kind of game he'll have. 28 and 14, like 28, that's a great game. 14, good game. 3 though, like that's bad. 14, 13, those are okay. 8, that's not great. Granted, that was without Lamar, so Gibby's team on paper looks great, but just because of the inconsistency, I have to put her at 5. At number 4, I'm putting Faith. The reason Faith is number 4 is because you have Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, and Jamar Chase. Those 3 players can combine for 100 points themselves. You know what I mean? Like just this last week, Jamar and Jonathan Taylor combined for 80. Wait, let me do math. 30%, 70. Sorry, they combined for 72 points. You put Lamar in there, Lamar could very easily have a 20-30 point game, like 29, 27, 27 before he got hurt. I mean, you have 3 players who are going to put up 100 points. So that's insane, right? Like that's going to be hard to beat any week that they do that. The issue with her team is the rest of it. Breece Hall has not been great lately. Super inconsistent. Actually just not good, to be specific, which is a real bummer for me because I just traded for him in my other league. 16, that's not bad, but 5, 9, those are bad games. 16, 17, okay, we'll take those. 5 and 7, like Brees has just not been great this season. I don't think he's like a bad person to have in your lineup because like he could have a good week. The Jets just suck, man. Like the Jets just suck. That's just plain and simple. The Jets are not a good team, so because of that, Brees Hall takes a hit. Marvin Harrison has not been great this season again. 19-point game, great, but 4, 7, not great. 18, 15, good games. 5, 7. He's a hit or miss player. I mean, this is just like how he was last season. He's either gonna have a great game or he's gonna have a bad game. And then her flex slots, Jordan Mason has not been great lately. DJ Moore has not been great. She had Jacoby Myers in her lineup. He started off the season doing okay, but he's been bad, like I said before, with Genty and now Jacoby Myers. The Raiders offense just sucks. They're a shitty team. It's just, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? But she has Wandale. Wandale's on the up and up. And now that Malik Neighbors is hurt, which is a real bummer because I had him in my lineup and then I chose to drop him. Why did I do that? Don't know, but you live and you learn. I think Wandale is actually a really good flex play now. But it's just, like I said, other than Lamar, Jamar, and Jonathan, this team has been so inconsistent. But I just think when you have those three players on your team, Jonathan Taylor, Lamar Jackson, and Jamar Chase, you can't not put her in the top 5. She's sitting at 5-2 right now. So, I mean, her team is putting up decent points, 946. And she's only had 892 scored against her. So her team is great. It's just the inconsistency in those other spots. But when you have 3 players dropping 100, you like her odds to win those weeks. It really just comes down to these other players. And then Darren Waller just got hurt. Not sure. It says he's week to week, but even when you look at his games, he had 17 and 18. Those are just those are lucky weeks because of touchdowns. I mean, he's such a weird player because he's not getting very many targets, but the targets he is getting are getting him in the end zone. So it's strange when you look at players, you want players who are getting more targets. But like this Dolphins offense just sucks. They benched Tua. Not sure when he's going to come back. Not sure who's going to be playing quarterback. So he's tough to like right now too. So depending on any like waiver moves or something, maybe, or like if we find somebody else on the waiver block instead of Wall, I don't know. It's just right now there's a lot of holes in this team when it comes to Brees Hall, Marvin Harrison, and then her flex spots, whether it be Jordan Mason, DJ Moore, or Wandale. I think Wandale will be a good person to put in there, but like Jordan Mason's been iffy. Aaron Jones is going to come back soon. DJ Moore, I mean, he only had 5 targets, 3 catches. DJ Moore just has not been the player you would hope he is in this offense. It seems like the Bears are shifted to more of a run-heavy game these last 2 weeks, and then they have Rome Odunze as their clear wide receiver 1. So, yeah, Faith sitting at number 4. Now, this is where things get interesting in this top 3. Man, I'm sitting at number 1 right now, but I think when I look at my team, I'm putting myself at number 3 in my power rankings. Forget Caleb Williams there. Fuck that guy. Joseph Chapman-Nix is about to be right back in there. When it comes to my team, I have just such a solid running back room. Damn, I'm already almost at an hour. I'm sorry. I'm just waffling. I hope you guys have nothing to do today. If y'all skipped the Broncos part, good on you. Save yourself some time. But when you look at my team, my running back core is solid. Bijan Robinson, I mean, he's the running back 3. He's going to put up great points every week. Love that guy. To infinity and Bijan. No question there. A-Chain. He's been the only bright spot in the Dolphins offense. He's consistently putting up good numbers. You know what I mean? Like he's had 2 big games, 26 and 35. But other than that, he's dancing around 15-ish, which is, you'll take that. You know what I mean? You'll take that every week. And especially now with like Tyreek being hurt, Tua being possibly benched. I don't know. They could lean even more on the running game, which is huge for A-Chain. A-Chain? I don't know. And then you have Quinshon Judkins down here in my flex spot. Another great running back. Shout out to the guy, Shelby, who traded me him for a bag of chips. I mean, 16, 21, 30-point game. Like, That game against Pittsburgh, not great. He only had 12 attempts, though. I mean, this guy is the workhorse for the Browns. It's very clear that they are going to be a run-first team. 18 attempts, 21 attempts, 23 attempts, 25 attempts. I mean, that's insane. Plus, I mean, this game with 21 attempts, he had 4 targets. I mean, 25 attempts for 84 yards. That's really not amazing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not averaging like a ton of yards per carry. Like 25 attempts and 84 yards. That isn't great. That's only 3 yards per carry. But I mean, he had 3 touchdowns. So as long as he's getting the volume, he's going to be okay. And we'll take that. This is where my team has holes, right? Krosky Merritt is currently in my other flex spot. This Commanders offense is all over the place. Like, you never know who's going to be good. Debo has been consistently good when he plays. So you're probably, you're most comfortable with Debo, but like Scary Terry, he's been out the last 6 games, which, sorry about that, Devin. I did not know that when I traded you him. Apologies. When I traded you him, he was questionable for that week, and now he's missed 4. My bad. I didn't know. But Krosky Merritt now, like, he had 1 huge game, 14 attempts, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Boom. He was on my bench that week, by the way. Boom. So now you're like, this guy's taking over. It's Bill time. Bill. But then you look at these last 2 weeks, he had a favorable matchup against Chicago, a favorable matchup against Dallas. Both of those weeks, all the fantasy experts were like, you gotta start JCM. He's gonna go crazy. 5 points and 4 points. Right? So until Bill is consistently good, I don't feel good with him in my flex spot. Especially now he's about to go up against Kansas City, good defense. Seattle, good defense. Detroit, good defense. Like, it's tough, man, because like I think he's a good running back, but he's just, you take away that one good game and he's really not. I mean, you know what I mean? So unfortunately, I think JCM has to go back in my bench. The issue is, who do I put in, right? This is where my team has glaring holes. My wide receiver slots and that one flex spot. My wide receiver 1 is technically Garrett Wilson, and we're not mad at that. I mean, he's been good. He had 1 bad game, 9 points, or 2 bad games, 9 points, 4 points. I mean, he went up against Pat Surtain. We're not surprised with this one. We're a little surprised with this Buffalo one, 9 points, crazy. But 22 points, 24, 20, 19. He's getting decent targets, 9, 8, 13, 8, 10, 8. Like, he's getting good targets every game. He's clearly Justin Fields' #1 target. I think the concerning part is how bad the Jets are. But in a way, it's kind of good because they're so bad, they're consistently playing from behind and they're consistently throwing the ball. So that's great for Garrett Wilson. Not mad at him as my wide receiver 1, just once he gets back. I'm hopeful. It says he's hopeful for week 8. So that would be good for me if he is back. We're not mad at that. Now, my wide receiver 2 and my other flex slot is where my giant glaring holes are. Because Quentin Johnson, he started off the season hot. I traded for him. Thank you, Devin, for him. But then he missed a game, and then his previous 2 games before that, he's not been great. He was saved this week. He had 11, but he only had 6 targets and 2 catches. Luckily, one of those was for a touchdown. I didn't watch the game, but apparently he had another target in the end zone that was caught for a pick. If he would have caught that, then he's sitting at a 17-point game, and we'll take that. It's just with this Chargers offense, man, it's just so, you never know who's going to have the good day. It could be Quentin Johnson, it could be Ladd, it could be Keenan. I mean, you look at week 3 and 4, he had 10 targets and 13 targets, right? So it was looking like, okay, maybe Quentin Johnson's the wide receiver 1. But then you look at these other weeks and it's like, well, even though he had 7 targets, like that's good for like if he was a wide receiver 2, he just had 2 touchdowns. He's a very like inconsistent player, kind of boomer bust. It seems like he's getting saved by end zone targets, which like I'm not mad at. Like if say he is the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 even, it's kind of looking more like he's the wide receiver 3 because Ladd just had a 15 target game. Keenan just had like a high target game where he caught 2 touchdowns, I think. As long as he's getting targeted in the end zone, it's not bad, but you don't love to see that amount of targets, 4 targets, 6 targets. You don't love to see it. He's just inconsistent. He's boomer bust. He's very touchdown reliant. And then Brian Thomas. He has been my biggest bust this season. He was my 2nd round pick, and he has just absolutely flopped. I don't know if it's a him problem. I don't know if it's a Trevor Lawrence problem. I don't know if it's a Jaguars problem. This again, like I said, this Jaguars team is so confusing. They just beat Kansas City 2 weeks ago, but then like I don't know this team. I don't know if it's just because they're like, if you look at their opponents, Carolina, Cincinnati, Houston, all not great teams. So maybe that's why they're sitting at, I can't remember if they're 4-3 or 5-2, whatever they are. I think they're 5-2. No, I think they're 4-3. Anyways, I just don't know where this Jaguars team is winning because their offense is not amazing. Like Travis Hunter just had a great game. So like now maybe he's looking better, but like Brian Thomas, man, he was my second round pick in 9, 8, 9, 10, 12. He had one good game against Seattle, 23 points, and then 6. He's just been so bad. I mean, for being my second round pick, he is the giant glaring hole in my team. And it might be a second round pick that ends up costing me in the end. I don't know. He had one good game. He's getting an okay amount of targets. Like he had a 12 target game and a 10 target game. We're happy with those. But like for being the wide receiver 1, and for being my second round pick, 7-6, 7-6, 7, like that's just not gonna cut it. And I don't know, man. He's been battling some injuries. He's still been playing, but he's been battling some injuries. I don't know. I think if Brian Thomas plays consistently, I have no problem moving myself up to the number 2 slot in the power rankings. But until either Brian Thomas or Quentin Johnson or Krosky Merritt starts playing consistent, I just can't see I can't put myself higher than 3. I do have the number 1 tight end. That's huge for me. So we're not mad at that. I have solid guys in Bijan, A-Chain, Ferguson, Judkins, and Garrett Wilson. But the glaring hole is Quentin Johnson, Brian Thomas, and Krosky Merritt. So I don't know. It's tough to put myself higher than 3 right now. I know I'm 6-1 and like first technically up here, but when I look at my team right now, I just see glaring holes. And maybe this is me being humble, or maybe this is me being hard on myself. I don't know, but I also, like, I've only had 877 points scored against me. I am the, let's see. I am the third, 888, 781. Yeah, I'm like the third lowest when it comes to points scored against me. So I think I've lucked out in a couple of my wins. I'm not willing to, or I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to admit that. I put myself at the number 3 spot in my own power rankings. And that's where Tim comes into play. Tim's going to be my number 2 because Tim, like I said, Tim started off 0-3. So I think he just got off to a really slow start. But now when you look at his team, it's scary, man. He's got Patrick Mahomes. He's the number 1 fantasy quarterback right now. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs, who just came off a 44-point game. He had one bad game this season, and then he's been good the rest of the season. Not typical Jahmyr numbers that you expect, like 15, 17, 16, 7. You don't expect that from Jahmyr Gibbs. Those are anomalies. Like he just dropped 44 this week. I mean, Gibbs is clearly a top 5 running back in this league. If not, it's hard not to even want to say top 3. So he's going to be great. You have Scatabo now, who has taken over the Giants running back room, and he has been good since he's been given the keys. 24, that's a great game. 13-14, those are good games. 31-18, those are great games. Like Scatabo is clearly the running back 1 in New York now, and he is like a workhorse for him. 16 carries and a touchdown. I mean, Scatabo is a fantastic running back too. Drake London, he's been iffy this season, but like he's consistently getting targets. 15. He had that game against Minnesota. I don't know if he got hurt that game or what happened that game, but only 4. But when you look at his targets, 15 targets, 8, 10, 16, 10. You're so happy with that at your wide receiver 1 spot, just getting that many targets a game. They aren't necessarily always translating into points. I mean, this game with 15 targets, he only had 13 points. It seems like it's mostly just he's getting his end zone opportunities taken away from him because of Bijan. Roughed out, Bijan. Dab me up. But I mean, he's having good games nonetheless. 13 and 10, those are okay. 5, that's not great. But 26, 31, he clearly has the potential to have great games. And then 8 against San Francisco. Just couldn't get any. I mean, he had 10 targets still, just only 4 catches. But Drake London is a good wide receiver 1. I know it hasn't necessarily translated into points all these weeks, but like when it does, it does. 26, 31, those are great games. So He's definitely a great wide receiver 1 to have. Olave is his wide receiver 2. Started off the season like okay, you know, the Saints offense was just not great. The Saints team is not great, but these last 2 weeks they have, I mean, kind of found more of a rhythm offensively. And I mean, 13 targets, 10, 14, 11, 10, like that's, again, that's wide receiver 1 numbers in his other spot. I mean, you're not mad at that at all. As long as Olave can stay unconcussed, Olave's going to be just fine. I mean, even this game, he only had 7 targets, but he had 2 touchdowns and 98 receiving yards, dropped 28 points. Now that the Saints offense is looking a little better and Olave is looking better, like these, when you look at this top 5, Mahomes, Gibbs, Scatterbo, London, Olave, that's scary. I know he's been picking up and dropping tight ends, but Fannin, I think, is a good tight end. He's had okay games. He's not great, but like that's, I would say, his only weak spot is his tight end position. Because then you have Keenan Allen, 14 targets. So I mean, Ladd had 15, Keenan Allen had 14. Clearly, I got the wide receiver 3. Let's go. I bought him high. I knew that was a risk I was taking when I was getting him. I'm not mad at it because I traded McLaurin for him, and McLaurin's just been hurt. But like when you look at his flex spots, Keenan Allen and T. Higgins, oh, I mean, that's scary, man. Like that is a scary lineup right here, dude. Like Keenan Allen, 14 targets, a flex spot receiver getting 14 targets. I mean, granted, he's had games where he's been low. He had a 6-point game, an 8-point game, a 10-point game. Like those aren't great, but he's also had 28, 19, 17, 19. He's the number 7 overall wide receiver in fantasy right now. Like at his flex spot. I mean, that's just scary, man. Tim's got a scary team. And then T. Higgins now, he's the number 35 wide receiver. But when you look at it, this is all like he had a 6-point game. That's, you know, that's not typical. He had 18. This was when Joe Burrow got hurt, I believe, was in this Jacksonville game. I mean, all these other games were when they were playing with Jake Browning. Of course, he wasn't going to be great. They had a shitty quarterback back there. 2, 6, 11, 11. But now Joe Flacco's in, 10 targets, 21 points. I think T. Higgins' value just shot through the roof now with Flacco back there. I mean, it's hard to look at Tim's team and not be scary. I think he just put up, let's see. He had 197 points this last week. 197 points, and that's with Drake London having a bad game and a kicker having 0. If Drake London has a typical, like a more normal Drake London game, he's breaking 200 easily. So, like, I know Tim is sitting at 3 and 4 right now, but it's just because his team started off really slow. I mean, the Saints offense started off terrible, so Olave wasn't getting production. Scatterbo was a backup, and he had Hampton in, and he started off really slow, 8-3. Well, he had 24 that week, but and he has Bowers out. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I said his glaring hole is the tight end position, but it's just because Bowers is hurt. I mean, granted, when Bowers has played this season, he hasn't been amazing, and it says that he's going to be out till week 9 probably. Oh, well, they're on bye this next week anyways, and then he'll be back. But like, oh man, dude. Patrick Mahomes, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cam Scatterbo, Drake London, Chris Olave, Bowers is going to be there, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins. Oh, his team looks so good on paper, man. And like, his team has just been slowly climbing throughout the year. And that's why, like, it's hard. I can't not put him at 2. I know his record doesn't reflect it right now, but he has the 3rd most points scored. But he has the 3rd most points scored in our league right now. He's only behind me by 30 points. And like, his team is on the up and up. Tim is like, I think it's the 10 through 3 spot. And then I think there's a gap. And then I think that's where we have Tim, because his team is just so good on paper. And I think his team is just going to continue to get better and better, unfortunately. Oh, it hurts to say that. And then, of course, this is going to be such an ego boost for him, and I hate it. But number 1, I have to give it to my boy Nate, unfortunately. I mean, Dak has been fantastic playing MVP level, putting up great fantasy points every week. 23, 14, 30, 33, 23, 29. I mean, they are clearly like, when you have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens downfield, that's just what it's going to be. Christian McCaffrey, the running back 1, fuck this guy, man. I drafted him last year. Look at this, dude. Look at 2021. Oh, actually, no, he's hurt 2021. Ignore that. 2022, fucking great numbers. 2023, insane numbers. The year I drafted him, 2024, gone. He played 3.5 games. frick this guy, man. I know he can't control injuries, but and then now he's back to being wide, like running back one, insane numbers, 22, 17, 17, 22, 17, 24 in attempts, 23 points, 22, 24, 26, 27, 24, 39. I mean, obviously the running back one, this 49ers offense receiving room has been so banged up, so they're just leaning on McCaffrey and it's working. He's got Chuba at his running back two spot. I would say that's a whole little bit of a hole right there just because Chuba hasn't been great. But he also has Charbonnet on his bench, who just had 19 points. He could slide in there. You don't feel confident sliding him in there just because he's split in the backfield with K9. But I mean, even Chuba's not a bad option up there. He only had 7 points, but he just came back from an injury. He's probably going to get better. I mean, he's got Amon-Ra. He's the number 3 wide receiver, consistently putting up great numbers. He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba, the number 1 wide receiver, consistently putting up great numbers. It's hard to look at this team and ask ourselves, how did we let him draft this team? McCaffrey, Amon-Ra, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like, how did we let him do this? Jackson Smith is getting 14 targets, 13, 9, and he's consistently scoring like, ugh. I hate hyping this guy up, man. I hate it. I love him, but I hate it. Amon-Ra, I mean, he's the wide receiver one in one of the best offenses in the league. Obviously, he's going to put up great numbers. Trey McBride. I mean, this is why he got drafted in like the 3rd round, I think. I'm not sure. He's been okay this season, but these last 2 games, it seems like they're finally finding their rhythm with him. He's consistently getting targets, which, like I said earlier, was what you want with a tight end. You know, he's been consistently okay, like 12, 13, 15, that's good, 12, 9. Those are okay games. But then these last 2 weeks, 21, 29. It seems like they finally found their rhythm with him, and so he's going to be great. And then you've got McMillan, who's been okay this season. You know, he started off pretty well, 11, 17, 7. You know what I mean? Like, he's been okay these last 2 games. He's only gotten 5 targets. Luckily, this game against Dallas, there was 2 touchdowns involved, so that saved his week for sure. Because he only had 3 catches for 29 yards. That's a pretty bad. That's 5 fantasy points, but he just happened to get 2 touchdowns while he was at it. But then only 6 points against the Jets. The Panthers just aren't like a great looking team. Their offense isn't great looking, so McMillan's kind of iffy. But then you scroll down here and you just see Rashee Rice, right? I mean, Tim traded him for a bag of chips. Oh my God. It's crazy to think how good Tim's team is and the fact that he traded Rashee Rice away. Like, you put Rashee Rice back on Tim's team and holy shit. But no, instead we traded him to Nate, where his first game back, he had 10 targets, 2 touchdowns, 23 points. I mean, he's very obviously going to be the wide receiver 1 in Kansas City. He's got Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball, which I hate Patrick Mahomes, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I mean, he's got just all these weapons, man. His receivers are just insane. Dak, what is he? He's the number 2 fantasy quarterback, number 2 fantasy quarterback, number 1 fantasy running back, the number 1 and number 3 fantasy wide receivers, the number 2 tight end. And then now you've got Rashee Rice, who obviously he's low, but he's going to end up, he's a top 10, he's probably a top 10 fantasy wide receiver now that he's back. And then you've got the best kicker in the league, Brandon Aubrey, who's the number 1 kicker. And then he's just consistently sniping good defenses. I mean, he had the Browns defense this week. He had another defense last week that put up 20 something. It's just hard not to put Nate number 1, man. It kills me to say it, but he is. He's got an insane team. His only hole is probably Chuba right here because he's iffy, and McMillan because he's iffy. But like, he's got Diggs on his bench who could very easily slide in for McMillan. It's just weird because he's been inconsistent, but he's getting like 7 targets, 5 targets, but then this game with 12 targets, boom, 24, boom game. But then he's also getting these 3 target games. But he could very easily, if he plays consistently, slide in for McMillan. It kills me to say it, but Nate is, although he's number 2 right now, he's the number 1 seed in my power rankings. I mean, I'm the 2nd highest scorer, and he's put up 200 more points than me. So it kills me to say that, but I think Nate is probably the top dog in our league right now. Tim number 2, me number 3, and then, like I said, the rest of them earlier. So It hurts me to say that, but god dang, I've gone on for an hour and 15 minutes. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, if I come out with another one of these next week, if y'all want me to, I won't rant about the Broncos as long. I only did it because this is my first week getting to talk about them. So I was talking about all their issues this season, not just this last week. Next week I'll do it like actually just talking about that game. But anyways, thank you for listening. If you listen to this whole thing, if not, I don't really care. I'm having fun doing this. So like, hey, yeah, let me know if y'all did watch it and if you want me to keep making these, and I will. Gridiron Goons and Emotional Wounds, Commissioner, heading out here. Shane, please, if you're listening, start fixing your lighter, man. It's not fun when you're not playing. Tim, great job, man. Your team's looking great. Nate, right here, bucko. Trade me one of your players for a bag of chips, please, if you don't mind. Thanks for listening if you did. I'll talk to y'all next week. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. We'll see.